is Paulo Duarte, new to the tour this year, and in the lime green colours, they really do make an impression, don't they? The game kicks off with Kenya wearing the colours against the traditional white and red of the brave blossoms of All Japan. And overlap. And there it is, the very physical presence, talking about that Dennis Ombachi that Rob has talked about. So here they come. Number 9 is Nelson Oyo, and he tries to scoot through the gap. We remember him from Singapore last year with that runaway try in the last minutes of the game. And the try is coming. It's going to be a bit of a tough day, I think, for Kenya. The try scorer, Augustine Lugonzo.
And there we are, case in point, Keane. A yellow card to the Japanese player there for the indiscretion on the left-hand side. But if you can't make your tackles, you are not going to last long in sevens. A simple outline, and that is just elementary tackling and no commitment. Two players, neither really committing to it. As Lugonzo streaks through the middle, they need to up their tackling. They're around about 8 or 9 missed tackles per game, which is just too difficult of a number to get through a game with. You need to make sure they're down to 1 or 2. And simply the questions that these big Kenyans will ask will not cease. They are so intimidating.
So Kenya lost to Australia 35-10. There are a few whispers about this Australian team here in Hong Kong for later on today in the Cup Series. They're going particularly well. They lost to England 17-14, the Kenyans, so that was a very close result. And they beat South Korea by 29-12. Here they are in game 4 of their program.
There's been a real interesting 12 months for this Japanese team. This time last year, riding high in emotion as they won the Cup qualifier to get on the World Series, but it's just not been a good year for them. Post-Rio, which was outstanding for them, they've lost a lot of players. They've lost that consistency of performance, and other than Soejima, don't really have any standout players.
Yes, having said that, some of them went to the Olympics. That's Katsuyuki Sakai, number 7. He's one to keep a lookout for. Bursting through is Patrick Stellan. He's got a lineage back to New Zealand. Halfway line here. Japan in possession, and over the top it's Kosuke Hashino. And there is Sakai, number 7. Lively player. Here is Tsujimo, the man that Rob Bickerman has talked about, showing his strength and class.
And there we have it, almost on cue. Such an outstanding runner with ball in hand. Kameli Soejima, his first tournament in Hong Kong. And what a sight these fans are seeing. This guy needs the ball for the Japanese to have any inroads. Holding the ball like a peanut, he's just shrugging off people. Almost typically Fijian in the way he's running, but very, very impressive in this Japanese shirt.
Recently he went back to Fiji with his Japanese wife and presented the family to his parents in the village in Fiji. And now back to continue his life as a pro rugby player in Japan. And he's in for the long haul in Japan, but that was a lovely try for Soejima. Now here is the other accomplished player to restart, Kosuke Hashino. And Sakai kicks it through. 7-all, 2.5 minutes to go to the end of the first half.
We see they're one of the examples of surrendering possession, almost like a unforced error in the game of tennis. Those little stick balls have to stay in the hand. If you do knock them on, just give an opportunity back to the Kenyans, and with their pace out wide, they have an ability to go from any place on the pitch, including their own 22. If it were Kenyan ball, perhaps.
Okay, let's see what Japan can conjure up here. Ashino again, wide this time to Lisala. Scored a lovely try in one of the games yesterday for Japan, but that's gone against them. So Kenya now trying to break out of their 22. Okay, here's where they've shown commitment there. He's a big man, isn't he? Oliech. And here is Lugonzo, who got the try. Sakai.
A kick to the corner here. Don't really see the Japanese been as threatening in the line-out, but they've got a couple of big guys there. Sojima makes his way over to the line-out. And Oshie, he's not small either. He's about 6'2", 6'3". The problem is the physicality of these Kenyans may well mean they could throw someone 10 foot in the air rather than just your average 5.
And that's exactly what they've done there. And let's have a look at it now from Ozawa. And now with Stellan and Sakai. To the left they bring it. Sojima moves it on, and the try is scored by the captain, Dai Ozawa.
Oishi getting in the corner, but we see the breakdown work. The Kenyans are attracted to breakdowns. It's their game. They almost like flies around a bright light. They go for it, which then means there's a lot of space out wide, which was just exploited by 2 simple passes. I think it's a poor decision there from the Kenyans. They're on the try line. We've said about the Japanese not being hugely threatening. You don't need to give them easy outs by giving them the space out wide, but that was good passing at least, and I think the Japanese are looking spirited here. More so the Kenyans looking a little bit phased in their decision making around the breakdown.
Let's get the historical record correct. The try was scored by Rikiya Oishi, number 8 for all Japan, and they lead by 12-7. Ashino, the 29-year-old. That's Lisala over there, I believe. Siosifa Lisala. This is the big man in the center for Kenya. Amonde, number 8, with the ball now. The captain takes it forward. Oh, what a hit! Sojima goes to work. And he goes to work here again. Watch him work. Gets his pass away to Stellan. Sakai. The try scorer is Oishi. And now wide to Lisala. This is lovely hands. Sticky tape on the fingertips of Team Japan at the moment. Corner flag is just ahead, but it's turnover time for Kenya. You see the red marks, top left corner. They're in the referee's time as we watch Amonde break out. So Kenya are still willing to try to take it the length of the field for the lead in the half. It's 12-7 at the moment to Japan. And that one's lost forward. Can Japan claim it and have advantage run their way? They can, but unfortunately for them and for Kenya's hopes, it all fumbled away from their hands, and an entertaining half comes to its conclusion. But a bit of a surprise, Japan leading Kenya by 12-7 at the break. Who are here? Haven't seen any Pokemons. Second half begins. Samuel Oliech. Amonde. There is good work by Sojima in defense. Now moving on through Nelson Oyu. halfway line. That's a good tackle as well. But not rolling away quick enough, I suspect, by Lisala. Good run here by Dennis Ombachi, regular on the tour over the last couple of seasons. Through the good and the bad, the tough years, Brian Tanga, number 12. Oh, and through for another try for Kenya.
It's a second try. Kenya, replacement number 5, Bush.
And the number that is 5, Bush Mwale, has scored the try, coming off the bench at the start of the second half.
There's a definite tactic by this Kenyan team, said at half-time, about keeping more width. What that does is isolate defenders. If you play with width and you get your passing as accurate as this, it makes decisions on these outside defenders. It looked like the outside man was coming in for a switch, a change of direction on the end, which bought the time, made the decision to be made inside him, and he gets through without a hand on him. Good finish there, Mwale. I'd love to see a baby celebration.
So the try is converted, and that's put Kenya in the lead by 14-12. So Jima has gone to the sideline, been subbed out of the game. So let's see how Japan carries on in his absence. The kickoff coming from Oliech. Plays for the Impala Saracens club.
And the central conversion is Kenya in the lead, 14-12.
It's a much more of a composed start from the Kenyans here. They realise it doesn't take a huge amount to break down this Japanese team, just keeping hold of the ball. That's where patience comes in.
William Barker, their number 12, has had some time in France. Rumours that he might play in New Zealand. And Dennis Ombachi jogs in another try and then just contemplates what he's achieved there. And the Kenyans suddenly look pretty confident here.
Oliech out wide. Got time for that celebration. Almost just model posing in the corner of the pitch at Hong Kong Stadium. Outrageous, but so is this. Not just the one player thrown off, but two. Rounding round the third, offload through the middle. Such a strong player we saw there. And have a look. Great shots.
Conversion attempt coming. What was your pose after a try had been scored, Rob?
I wasn't audacious enough to try and pose after scoring. It was very English in my celebration, just walking back with a handshake, probably.
Walking back with a handshake. Well, they used to call the All Blacks the unsmiling giants. Were you out of that ilk?
Not at Hong Kong, no. If you score at Hong Kong, you enjoy every single second of it.
True enough. It's these fellows are. Samuel Oliech, there he is. He's scored the tries back for the kickoff now. 19-12. 3 minutes, just a tad less than that to play now. And coming into the game for Japan is Dallas Tatana. And moving it now, Hashino. So here he comes again. Infield, nice work into passing by Nakambula for Japan. Eleven is Nakano. 9 is Nakambula. Sakai. Oh, the referee is right there, and the referee has decided that what he saw right in front of him was a block and a chance for Japan now. Not 10 metres. The second penalty will come, and a yellow card will follow.
Yeah, the second indiscretion there from Amonde, almost forgiven for the first one. The man is so big, it's probably quite hard for people not to run into him, but the second one most definitely was a professional foul, as we see some pretty bizarre strapping there on the Japanese player. Maybe just wants a beard.
So that's number 8 for Kenya is to the sideline, Andrew Amonde, and wide to A dash to the line by Dai Ozawa, and he's in for another try.
Well, I'm really glad he scored because you get to see his strapping again. But it's good work by the captain. Difficult in these situations to lead teams such as this. And it must have been taking such a toll on him. He's been talking so much, his jaw needs a bit of support. But it's a good finish. With the ball being passed wide, they've identified if they get the ball to width, they've had a little bit of threat. Lovely stepping in the middle. Offloads will always get you gain yardage in the game of sevens, and he dives over the line. But that's good teamwork. That's more like the Japanese team that we saw this time last year.
Which means they've closed the gap right up here, 19-17. Because the kick missed. Yes, it is unusual, isn't it? Taping up, some activity has jarred his jaw. There's a big collision on the Kenyan side. Oh, so Sojima, who went to the sideline and sat on the bench, is back in the game again. And he has been yellow carded.
Oh, I think it's a bit of a deserved head shake from him there. Unlucky, there was not a chance in the world he was trying to slap that down. He's got this Fijian mentality of trying to poach these passes, and sadly was on the wrong side of the law there from referee Duarte.
And Wale. Oliech. Going for the gap is OU. Wanyama. And look at that for a dive. That's flash from Frank Wanyama. Don't know if I'd recommend it though, Rob Vickerman.
Not a fan of the dive, but I'm a fan of this. Gets on the outside, afterburner, doesn't need the handoff. Normally the ball would be in the other arm to make sure he could get the fend out, but there it goes, there's the transfer. And then it wasn't quite far enough away from the defender, but that is some air he takes then. That's why he's maybe dancing. Celebrate how high he got on that one, nearly took off.
And what's he got written on his forearm? Does it say welcome? I'm not sure, but it's...
Might be his flight number.
Here comes the conversion attempt. And the whistle has gone for the conclusion, but let's look at this. It's celebrated again. Diving in and tumbling over to score the last points of the game. Kenya and Japan, some spectacular try scoring in the game, but the Kenyans have run out the winners by 24-17.